The V-Force was a force of 3 medium bombers operated by the RAF during the Cold War, and they were the Vulcan, Victor and Valiant. Now, you've almost definitely heard of the Vulcan, if you're British that is. Everyone in Britain knows about the Vulcan. You may have heard of the Victor, but there's a good chance you haven't heard of the Valiant. Although if you're watching this channel, that you probably have, because I've maybe mentioned it before. Although if you've watched more than 2 of my videos, I genuinely think you deserve a medal. I won't be giving any. Anyway, so what it was the Valiant. The Valiant was the Vickers Aircraft Company's response to the British Air Ministry's specification B.35/46, which was a specification that called for a 4-engined medium bomber capable of cruising at 500 knots and a minimum service ceiling of 55,000 feet. And so these 3 companies came up with a viable aircraft, Avro with the Vulcan, Handley Page with the Victor and Vickers with the Valiant, as I've said. So why is the Valiant the forgotten one of the 3? And I would say this is down to its design. The Valiant came into service first, followed by the Vulcan and then the Victor. The reason for this is the Valiant was more basic than the other 2. It had lower performance than the other 2, but it was supposed to be more reliable. It was supposed to be a known quantity. The wings weren't too outrageous. It was made out of, but it was supposed to be the insurance backup in case the futuristic Vulcan with its delta wing that had never been done before on that scale, and the Victor with its complicated crescent wing, supposed to be very good for high altitude. Here it is there. You see how that's not exactly a simple shape. The Valiant was supposed to be the insurance. It was supposed to work well. The trouble, and that it did work well at high altitude and medium altitude. It was perfectly fine. But it all kicked off in 1960 when Gary Powers got shot down in his U-2 over the Soviet Union. Now, that doesn't sound related, but it was. The reason that the specification wanted a minimum service ceiling of 55,000 feet is because in the late 40s, when this specification was given, there were no fighters, there were no guided missiles capable of hitting an aircraft at that height. There were no interceptors capable of shooting down a bomber at that height. It was supposed to be safe. But all of a sudden in 1960, it's not anymore. So in 1963, the V-Bomber Force went from high altitude operations to low altitude operations, going in under the radar. Trouble is, air is a lot denser at low altitude, as you obviously know. Which causes buffeting. That was fine for the Vulcan with its really strong triangular wing, and as you know from school, triangles are strong. And the Victor was fine with its more futuristic aerodynamics, but the Valiant wasn't fine. It was made out, the main spar at least, was made out of a aluminium alloy called DTD 683. And long story short, it wasn't a very good alloy. People didn't really know that much about metal fatigue, hence the issues with Comet. And it all came to a head in 1964 when I keep getting fucking interrupted. In 1964 when a crew was flying a Valiant, normal, and then they heard a bang. So they landed, they went around the aircraft, looked under the wing, looked up, and they could see daylight. The main spar had failed, which was amazing because this was a very rare case where a main spar failed and the aircraft didn't crash. Anyway, all Valiants were grounded and they were decommissioned by 1965, going away into obscurity. The Victor would go on as a tanker up until 1993, taking part in the Falklands War and the Gulf War, just to name a couple. And the Vulcan was famous for its role in the Black Book raids in the Falklands, and also XH-558, which used to be a tanker, by the way, which is not really known. XH558 flying around the UK until 2015. Millions of people saw it in Britain. I saw it myself. It's in the public eye. The Victor, to a lesser extent, is in the public eye. The Valiant, unless you're looking to find out about it, you're not, or you go to RAF Cosford, you're not really going to know about the Valiant. And that, in my opinion, is why it's more obscure than the other two.